Hey, it's me. I really appreciate you sending soup this week because, as you can tell, my throat is quite sore. So, this is the best I can do talking. I hope you can understand me okay. It was a lot worse a couple days ago. But anyways, this week in my biology class, we were talking about diabetes. And obviously, that's a pretty widespread problem in this country. But I thought I would break it down a little bit more to you and talk to you about something called insulin. And you've probably heard that term thrown around in relation to diabetes. You know, type 1 diabetics will inject themselves with insulin. But I thought I'd go through what insulin actually is and some of the things that it does in the body and what it responds to. So, um, this is a molecule of human insulin. It is a peptide hormone. Um, it's made up of lots of amino acids. And insulin is made in the pancreas in the beta cells. So this is the pancreas, and what this little guy here, this is in what's called an islet of Langerhans in the pancreas. So these are like little units. And then the insulin specifically is made in these light blue cells around here that are called beta cells. And what insulin does is it signals to the liver, the skeletal muscle, and our fat to take up blood glucose. So it's responding to high blood levels of blood sugar or glucose in our bloodstream. And so when there's a lot of glucose, we get some ATP, some energy, which depolarizes the cell. It sets off that chain reaction to open the channels and allows this insulin to be released by those beta cells. So insulin sometimes gets kind of a bad rep because it does stop fat breakdown. So if you're on a diet, you might think, oh, well, I don't want insulin because I don't need to keep storing up fat. I want to break it down. But everyone needs some insulin to live. It's kind of like a lot of things in our body. Too much is bad and too little is also bad. So just remember that. So insulin is needed to get fuel to our cells for energy. Some of the things it does is it stops the liver from making glucose, helps us build up proteins, and it it helps us kind of store energy. So if we already have enough energy, then it'll be stored for later in something called glycogen, and that's a whole nother topic. But just know that insulin is good. It helps us store energy, but it does stop the breakdown of fat, so you want to find a good balance. And some of the interesting things about glucose is we did an activity where we looked at different meals and which ones would affect your insulin levels the most. It's interesting to note that insulin, so normally it kind of goes up, it spikes in response to glucose, and it will actually spike more in the presence of, so if you ate some carbohydrates and then you also ate protein, that would cause the insulin to spike even more. And it's very interesting, that combination effect, because individual amino acids, so like one of these guys, for example, just by itself, that would not cause the insulin to spike. But carbohydrates and protein mixed with protein from, say, like a chicken, something really chock full of protein, that causes our insulin levels to rise. Insulin also rises in response to carbohydrates and fatty acids. So we could see from the activity that we did that there's a lot of factors you have to determine when you are trying to calculate insulin with regard to what you've been eating. So yeah, that is kind of a brief overview of insulin. I'm really sorry I'm sick and hoarse, and I will see you in a couple days at Thanksgiving. Bye.